You eat well, you exercise, you take your medication diligently, and yet every morning your glucometer screams a number that steals your peace. You feel frustrated, confused, perhaps even betrayed by your own body. You blame last night's dinner, that piece of bread you shouldn't have eaten. But let me tell you something that perhaps no one has told you with this clarity. The true saboteur of your blood sugar isn't always on your plate. It acts in silence, in the dark, while you sleep. It's a hidden enemy in your nighttime habits. The vast majority of people with diabetes or prediabetes focus their energy on the day. They plan their meals, count carbohydrates, force themselves to walk. But when the sun sets, they let their guard down, thinking the work is already done. Grave mistake. The night is not a simple interlude. It's a biological battlefield where the war against high blood sugar can be won or lost. The most dangerous and silent glucose spikes occur while you sleep, and you only realize their havoc upon waking. Chronic fatigue, insatiable thirst, a mental fog that keeps you from thinking clearly, and of course, that frustrating number on the screen. Tonight, you and I are going to change that. I'm going to reveal 5 nighttime habits, 5 simple and powerful rituals that can naturally lower your blood sugar without adding more stress to your life, without complicating your routine. Because the truth is, you don't need a radical transformation. You need smart adjustments. Conscious decisions that send your body the right message before you close your eyes. But before we dive into the first habit, I want us to do a little honesty exercise. I want you to go to the comments section and write a single word that describes how you feel when you see a high blood sugar level in the morning. Is it frustration? Is it fear, anger, defeat? There are no wrong answers. Naming that feeling is the first step to disarming it. Your story matters, and it could be the mirror someone else needs to feel understood. And while you're there, if this initial message resonates with you, if you feel that someone finally understands your struggle, I invite you to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications, because what we are going to build here together is a path towards control and serenity. The good news is that the power is in your hands, and it starts tonight. I'm going to share 4 of these transformative habits with you, but I ask that you stay until the end, because the 5th habit, the one most people completely ignore and don't associate at all with diabetes, could be the missing piece of the puzzle for you, the key that finally allows you to wake up feeling refreshed and in control. Habit number 1, go to bed earlier. Reclaim your right to rest. It seems too simple, doesn't it? In a world that glorifies productivity and being constantly busy, sleep is almost seen as a luxury, a weakness. People spend obsessive hours planning their diets, forcing themselves to go to the gym. But when night comes, they negotiate with sleep. They stay up late, caught in the infinite scroll of social media, devouring series episodes, convinced that this is their time for themselves. But that time stolen from rest comes at a very high price, and your pancreas is the one who pays the bill. The reality, raw and scientifically proven, is that sleep is not a luxury. It is one of the most powerful and underestimated tools you have to keep your blood sugar in check. Ignoring it is like trying to row a boat with a hole in the bottom. You can try as hard as you want during the day, but you will sink during the night. Let me explain the biology behind this in a way you can feel in your own body. When you don't get enough sleep, your body enters a state of alert, of stress. It releases hormones like cortisol, the famous stress hormone. Cortisol tells your liver, emergency, we need energy now, and the liver obeys, releasing stored glucose into your bloodstream. At the same time, this lack of sleep makes your cells deaf to insulin. It's what we call insulin resistance. Insulin is the key that opens the door of your cells for sugar to enter and be converted into energy. If your cells become resistant, the key doesn't work. The sugar stays outside, accumulating dangerously in your blood. So even if you ate a perfectly balanced salad for dinner, your blood sugar level at dawn can be through the roof, leaving you perplexed and wondering what you did wrong. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention don't say it on a whim. Adults need between 7 and 9 hours of sleep per night. But here comes the important nuance. It's not just about quantity, but about quality. Fragmented sleep, full of interruptions, is not enough. You need deep, restorative sleep. During those phases of deep sleep, your body performs amazing cellular cleaning and repair. It reduces stress hormones, repairs tissues, and, crucially, gives your pancreas a break. Think of your pancreas as a tireless worker. Throughout the day, it is producing insulin, responding to every bite of food, every moment of stress. At night, it's exhausted. It desperately needs to close up shop, rest, and prepare for the next day. If you steal hours of sleep from it, you are forcing it to work in a state of chronic exhaustion. As Dr. Canoiso, a renowned endocrinologist, well explains, your pancreas is practically begging for a break at the end of the day. Without that rest, its efficiency drastically decreases. It cannot produce quality insulin or in the adequate amount. That's why many of my patients notice a clear pattern. A night of bad sleep translates, almost mathematically, into a day of uncontrolled sugar, no matter how disciplined they are with their diet or exercise. I remember the case of a patient, let's call her Laura. Laura was the personification of discipline. Her diet was impeccable. She walked an hour every day, took her medication without fail. However, her morning sugar levels were a frustrating mystery, always high. When we started analyzing her routine, we found the culprit. Laura went to bed past midnight. She said those nighttime hours were the only ones she had for herself, to disconnect from work and family. I proposed a simple experiment to her. For 2 weeks, she would try to go to bed only 30 minutes earlier. No big changes, just half an hour. At first, she resisted. She felt she was giving up her only escape, but she agreed. The results were amazing. After just 1 week, her morning blood sugar levels started to drop. By the end of the 2 weeks, she had reduced her morning peaks by almost 30%. But the most revealing thing was what she told me. Doctor, not only has my sugar dropped, I have more energy, I'm less irritable, and curiously, I have fewer sweet cravings during the day. Laura's story illustrates a powerful truth. Lack of sleep also unbalances hunger hormones, ghrelin and leptin. When you sleep little, ghrelin, the hormone that tells you I'm hungry, increases, and leptin, the one that tells you I'm full, decreases. That's why a bad night leads you to make bad food choices the next day, seeking quick energy in carbohydrates and sugars. You enter a vicious cycle. So, what can you do? Starting tonight, I'm not asking you to change your life overnight. Start with the 30-minute rule. Like Laura, turn off the television. Leave your phone charging in another room. Dim the lights. Create a ritual. Maybe read a book. A physical one, not on a screen. Listen to relaxing music. Drink a chamomile tea. Consistency is your best ally. Try to go to bed and wake up at the same time every day. Even on weekends, this stabilizes your biological clock, your circadian rhythm, and drastically improves the quality of your sleep. This habit doesn't cost you money. It doesn't require special equipment. It's not a magic pill. It's an act of profound self-love. It's recognizing that your body needs to recover to serve you well. By giving your body the gift of earlier, more restorative sleep, You are giving it the simplest and most natural tool to keep your sugar stable, and that could be the change that finally tips the scale in your favor. Habit number 2. Close the kitchen after dinner. Give your pancreas a break. One of the most common and silent saboteurs of nocturnal glycemic control is your meal timing. We all know that blood sugar naturally rises after eating. In a person without diabetes, the pancreas responds with a fast and efficient release of insulin that manages that increase. But if you live with diabetes, that response is slower, less effective. The sugar peak is higher and lasts longer. Now, imagine what happens when you trigger that peak just before going to bed. Eating too close to bedtime is like asking an orchestra to play a symphony just as the musicians are putting away their instruments and turning off the theater lights. You are forcing your pancreas to do strenuous work when the rest of your body is already in rest and repair mode. Dr. Canaoso describes it with a brilliant analogy. Eating right before bed forces your pancreas to work overtime on the night shift. Instead of entering its well-deserved rest period, it is forced to continue processing that last meal. As a result, your blood sugar can remain dangerously high for hours while you sleep. This is not just a number on a meter. It has real physical consequences that sabotage your rest. A high blood sugar level during the night dehydrates you. This forces you to get up several times to go to the bathroom or drink water, fragmenting your sleep and robbing you of those deep restorative phases we talked about in the first habit. You may experience restless sleep, nightmares, or wake up in the morning feeling heavy, as if you have a hangover despite not having drunk alcohol. And here comes the most frustrating part. The problem doesn't reset at dawn. If your sugar has been high all night, it's very likely to still be high in the morning. This is known as the dawn phenomenon, which is exacerbated by a late dinner. Starting the day with already elevated sugar makes controlling your levels for the rest of the day an uphill battle. It's an exhausting cycle that drains you physically and emotionally. How do we break this cycle? The solution is elegantly simple. Create a time gap between your last meal and bedtime. Most experts, including registered dietitian Auntie Aulita, recommend finishing dinner at least 2 or 3 hours before going to bed. This interval gives your digestive system the time necessary to do its work and allows your blood sugar levels to begin to stabilize before your head hits the pillow. We can even go a step further. Dr. Aulita suggests a powerful concept, a 12-hour overnight mini-fast. It sounds more intimidating than it is. If you finish dinner at 7 in the evening, simply try not to eat breakfast until 7 the next morning. This 12-hour window is a gift to your body. It allows your glucose to stabilize completely, gives your pancreas a deep rest, and promotes cellular cleansing processes like autophagy. My patients who adopt this practice report not only better morning sugar control, but also greater mental clarity and more stable energy levels throughout the day. Now, let's be realistic. Life happens. Sometimes you have to work late, or a family dinner runs long. Does that mean all is lost? No. It's about being smart, not perfect. If you know you're going to have a late dinner, opt for a much lighter meal. Instead of a heavy dish with lots of carbohydrates, choose a portion of lean protein, chicken, fish, with a good amount of non-starchy vegetables. If hunger strikes later after dinner, the key is to choose a snack that won't sabotage your efforts. Forget cookies, cereal, or bread. Think of a small handful of nuts, some cucumber slices with hummus, or even a hard-boiled egg. These snacks are rich in protein and fiber, which will satisfy you without causing a glucose spike. The goal is not to go hungry. The goal is to be mindful. It's understanding that the night is for rest and repair, not for digestion. By closing the kitchen a few hours before sleeping, you are making an active decision to support your body. You are allowing it to reset, to recharge. Your pancreas will thank you. You will wake up feeling lighter, more energetic, and most importantly, with greater control over your health. This habit doesn't require Herculean willpower, just a shift in perspective. Sometimes the most powerful action you can take for your health is simply to do nothing, not to eat. Let your body perform its nightly magic in peace. Habit number 3, banish nighttime carbs and sweets. Win the battle against cravings. The hours after dinner are an emotional and nutritional minefield. During the day, you're on guard, you're active, distracted, making conscious decisions. But at night, when the pace slows down and you sit on the couch, your defenses drop. It's in that moment of vulnerability when cravings whisper and then scream, some cookies, a bowl of ice cream, a slice of buttered toast. They seem like harmless rewards after a long day. But for someone struggling to control their blood sugar, those little indulgences at night are metabolic time bombs. What you choose to eat during those critical hours has a disproportionate impact on your glucose levels overnight. Why? Let's think about the physiology. When you consume refined carbohydrates or sugars, desserts, white bread, potato chips, sugary drinks, your body breaks them down quickly into glucose, flooding your bloodstream. During the day, if you are active, your muscles clamor for that glucose and use it as fuel. But at night, your muscles are at rest. No demand for energy, so all that glucose has nowhere to go. It remains circulating in your blood, raising your levels for hours while you sleep. It's like pouring gasoline into a car that's already parked in the garage. The fuel isn't used, it just accumulates. Dietitian Antia Levi constantly emphasizes balance is key, especially at night. She recommends nighttime snacks that combine protein, healthy fats, and fiber. Why this combination? Because these 3 macronutrients work as a team to slow down digestion. Fiber creates a gel in the stomach. Protein and fat take longer to break down. This means that glucose is released into the bloodstream slowly and gradually, like a constant drip instead of a cascade. This prevents sudden spikes and subsequent crashes that leave you feeling restless, or even wake you up hungry in the middle of the night. Reflect on how you feel. Think of a night when you gave in to temptation and ate a dessert, or some potato chips before bed. How did you wake up? Probably heavy, groggy, with a dry mouth and unusual thirst. Now compare that to a night when you opted for a handful of almonds or simply a herbal tea. The difference is palpable. You wake up lighter, clearer, with a more stable blood sugar level and cleaner energy to start the day. A single nighttime craving may not seem like a big deal, but when it becomes a habit, it creates a pattern of morning spikes that is incredibly difficult to break. So the million-dollar question is, how do we fight those cravings when they attack with full force? First, we must understand where they come from. Often, nighttime craving is not real hunger. It's a habit. It's boredom. It's an emotional response to the day's stress. Or it can even be dehydration. Next time you feel that urge, pause. Drink a large glass of water or a hot sugar-free herbal tea. Wait 15 minutes. You'll be surprised how often the hunger disappears. It was your body asking for liquids, not food. If after hydrating the hunger persists, then it's time to choose your weapon wisely. Have an arsenal of safe snacks on hand. A handful of almonds or walnuts, some cucumber or celery slices with guacamole, a plain Greek yogurt, unsweetened with a few berries or chia seeds, some slices of turkey or chicken. These foods not only satisfy physical hunger, but also nourish your body and stabilize your blood sugar. It's also essential to look back. If you feel a voracious need to eat at night, it's very likely that your dinner wasn't adequate. Did it have enough protein? Did you include fiber from vegetables? Did it contain healthy fats? A complete and balanced dinner is your best defense against later cravings. Often people who try to eat light at dinner, eliminating fats or proteins, are the ones who end up raiding the pantry 2 hours later. Avoiding sweets and carbohydrates after dinner is not an act of deprivation. It's an act of strategic intelligence. It's giving your body the best chance to heal and balance during the night. By giving up that cookie, you are choosing more stable mornings. By saying no to that bowl of cereal, you are saying yes to a rested pancreas. This simple decision, repeated night after night, has the power to transform your health. No complicated rules or expensive products are needed, just the conscious decision to respect your body's nocturnal needs. Habit number 4, engage in gentle, conscious movement. Guide your glucose to its destination. The word exercise often conjures images of sweat, exertion in crowded gyms. But when it comes to controlling nocturnal blood sugar, the paradigm shifts completely. Here, subtlety beats intensity. A light, conscious movement after dinner can be infinitely more powerful than an exhausting workout session. Let me explain the science behind this phenomenon in a simple way. In your muscle cells, you have glucose transporters called GLUT4. Think of them as small doors. Normally, these doors need the key of insulin to open and let glucose from the blood in. However, there's a trick. Muscle contraction, even the gentlest, can make these GLUT4 doors open without the need for insulin. It's a VIP access road for glucose. When you engage in light movement after dinner, you are activating this pathway. You are inviting your muscles to directly absorb excess glucose from your bloodstream, using it as immediate energy. This reduces the load on your pancreas, which doesn't have to produce as much insulin, and helps reduce that post-meal sugar spike before you go to bed. A revealing study published in 2022 in the journal Sports Medicine conclusively confirmed this. Researchers found that walking briskly for just 10 to 15 minutes after meals significantly reduced blood sugar levels. The key is not duration or intensity, it's consistency and timing. However, this is where many people go wrong. Not all nighttime exercise is equal. Light aerobic activities like walking, gently cycling on a stationary bike, or even marching in place while watching television are ideal for lowering blood sugar. But high-intensity training, such as heavy weightlifting, sprinting, or an HIIT-type workout, can have the opposite effect right before sleep. Why? Because intense exercise is a stressor for the body. In response, your body releases hormones like adrenaline and cortisol, which signal your liver to release more glucose into the blood to cope with that challenge. This can lead to a temporary sugar spike, precisely what we are trying to avoid at night. Dr. Canoazzo always warns his patients about this. Although strength training is absolutely vital for long-term health and for improving insulin sensitivity, its timing is crucial. Performing it right before sleep can be counterproductive for nocturnal glucose control. If you enjoy your resistance workouts in the afternoon or evening, there's a simple solution. Always end your session with 5 to 10 minutes of light aerobic cool down, a gentle walk on the treadmill, or a few minutes on a stationary bike will help consume that extra glucose your liver released, stabilizing your levels before bed. Think about how you can integrate this into your real life without it feeling like an obligation. It's not about adding another task to your list. It's about creating a pleasant ritual. After dinner, instead of sinking into the couch, put on your sneakers and take a walk around the block. Listen to a podcast or your favorite music. If the weather isn't cooperating, there's no excuse. Put on music and dance gently in the living room. Walk up and down the stairs in your house at a calm pace. Do a routine of gentle yoga stretches. Even washing dishes or tidying the kitchen counts as light movement. The benefits go beyond blood sugar. This post-dinner movement improves digestion, reduces bloating, and helps calm the mind after a busy day. It's a form of transition, signaling to your body and mind that the day is ending and it's time to relax. Many of my patients discover that this small nightly stroll becomes their favorite part of the day, a space for quiet reflection that drastically improves the quality of their sleep. The conclusion is this: movement is your ally, but you must use it intelligently. A light, consistent activity after dinner is your best strategy. You don't need expensive equipment. You don't need to sweat. You don't need much time. Just 10 or 15 minutes of conscious movement can be the difference between waking up with blood sugar through the roof and waking up feeling balanced, refreshed, and in control. Tonight, after dinner, give your body that small gesture. Guide your glucose to its final destination, your muscles, not your bloodstream. Habit number 5, brush your teeth immediately after dinner, the unexpected guardian of your glucose. Here's the revelation I promised you. The habit that seems so trivial, so disconnected from the complex world of diabetes, but that is actually one of the deepest and most effective strategies you can implement. Brushing your teeth. Yes, you read that right. This simple act of oral hygiene is a powerful guardian of your blood sugar levels, and it works on 2 levels, one biological and one psychological. Let's start with the biology, which is both fascinating and alarming. Your oral health and blood sugar control are intimately linked in a dangerous two-way street. When your blood sugar is chronically elevated, your body becomes more susceptible to infections. Your saliva, which normally protects your teeth, can contain more sugar, becoming the perfect food for harmful bacteria. This creates an ideal environment for gum disease, known as periodontitis. Now, here comes the crucial connection. Periodontitis is not just a local problem in your mouth. It's a chronic infection that triggers an inflammatory response throughout your body. Your immune system is constantly on alert, fighting that infection in your gums. This low-grade systemic inflammation is one of the worst enemies of diabetes control, as it directly increases insulin resistance. In other words, the infection in your gums makes it even harder for your cells to hear insulin's message. Your blood sugar rises, which worsens your gum health, which in turn increases inflammation and insulin resistance. It's a devastating, vicious cycle. Organizations like the American Diabetes Association, or ADA, and the CDC have repeatedly highlighted this connection. Gum disease can by itself make diabetes management extremely difficult. That's why if you notice your gums are red, swollen, if they bleed when you brush, if you have persistent bad breath or teeth that feel loose, don't ignore it. It's not a simple nuisance. It's an alarm signal your body is sending you. Talk to your dentist immediately and make sure they know you live with diabetes. The good news is that you have an incredibly effective tool to break this cycle. Your toothbrush and dental floss. By meticulously brushing every night with fluoride toothpaste and flossing, you are removing the bacterial plaque that causes inflammation. You are keeping the infection at bay. Every time you brush, you are not only cleaning your teeth, you are actively reducing inflammation in your body and, therefore, helping to improve your insulin sensitivity. It's a medical intervention you perform in your own bathroom. But the magic of this habit doesn't end there. It also has an immensely powerful psychological component. Brushing your teeth immediately after your last scheduled meal sends a clear and definitive signal to your brain. The kitchen is closed for today. The act of eating is over. The fresh, minty taste in your mouth creates a sensory barrier. Any food or drink you consume afterwards will taste strange, less appealing. This simple cognitive trick can be enough to stop those nighttime cravings we talked about earlier dead in their tracks. You no longer have to rely solely on willpower, which is a finite resource and often depleted by the end of the day. You have created a clear rule, a closing ritual. It's the end point of your eating day. This small act becomes a behavioral anchor. It helps you be more mindful and avoid mindless snacking in front of the television. It's a way of telling yourself, I've taken care of myself, I've cleansed my body, and now I'm going to respect that care until tomorrow. So, tonight, I invite you not to see brushing your teeth as just another chore. See it for what it truly is, a therapeutic act, a double action strategy that fights biological inflammation and strengthens your psychological discipline. It's the simplest, cheapest, and possibly one of the most impactful habits you can adopt to protect your health while you sleep. We have covered 5 habits: going to bed earlier, closing the kitchen, avoiding nighttime carbohydrates, gentle movement, and brushing your teeth. None of them are superhuman feats. None require a financial investment. But together, they form a protective shield around your nocturnal health. What I want you to take away from our conversation today is that diabetes control is not won with heroic and sporadic gestures, but with the constant sum of small, smart decisions. It is in the stillness of the night, in those rituals you establish for yourself, where the true power of transformation resides. Each of these actions is a message of respect and love towards your own body. You are telling it, I value you, I care for you, and I give you the tools you need to heal. Don't overwhelm yourself trying to implement them all at once. Choose one, just one that resonates with you tonight. Perhaps it's simply going to bed 15 minutes earlier, or taking a 5-minute walk after dinner. Start small, be consistent, and let that initial success build momentum for the next one. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Of these 5 habits, which one do you commit to trying tonight? Write it in the comments. Putting it in writing makes it real. It turns it into a commitment to yourself. Your journey can inspire hundreds of people who are reading this right now. If this video has brought you value, if it has given you a new perspective or a practical tool, the best way to thank me is by giving it a like and sharing it with someone who might benefit. And of course, if you haven't already, subscribe and hit the bell, because our journey towards full and conscious health has only just begun. Thank you for your time, for your trust, and for your courage. See you in the next video.